In the last week, the Mexican peso took a big hit, which is good news for those of us with US dollars. Given how strong the peso has been performing in recent years, we've been getting a lot of questions about what's going on and what it means for expats in Mexico.
Welcome to Entrepreneur Expat. On this channel, we cover all the topics that concern expats, including global diversification, geo arbitrage, and also living overseas. So if that's something that interests you, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And because we've had so many people subscribing and so many great comments, we've decided to put together a couple of free gifts for you. So the first gift is a free guide on how to move overseas to Mexico. If you're listening to our Living in Mexico content and you're thinking, dang, I'd really like to live over there, but I have no idea where to start, we put a free guide for you, which you can find in the comments below. And if you're entrepreneurial and you have an online business and you're also thinking about moving overseas, it's a lot easier when you've got your business mostly automated. Ask us how we know that. So we put a guide together for you as well with our favorite marketing automations that literally allowed us to travel for a year and move to another country and still pull in six figures pretty much on autopilot. So that will be in the description for you as well.
So how far did the Mexican peso drop last week? According to Reuters, the Mexican peso hit a fresh 7-week low of 17.75 to the dollar, which was a 4.29% drop, according to the LSEG data. It's actually, as of today, as of the last couple days, gotten to about 18.4.
Yeah.
So that's even old data. It got as high, as low actually. The dollar got as high as 18.4-ish pesos to the US dollar. The latest loss means that just as of last week, it's weakened more than 4% since the start of 2024, but it's actually gone down even more significantly just in the last few days since they've released this data.
So why exactly did the Mexican peso drop, which is what a lot of people have been asking us. And in case you missed it, which would be kind of hard because it was all over worldwide news, and we'll have another video coming out on this specifically, Mexico had elections last week, and Claudia Sheinbaum of the Morena party got elected. And basically, conservatives are worried that Mexico is going to become less market friendly, which, I mean, if you're trying to run a business in Mexico and open a business in Mexico, then that may be true. Now, that being said, the Mexican peso has had a very interesting history in the last couple of years. So a lot of people have been calling it the super peso because it's been performing really, really well against the USD, which is the current world reserve currency. There's like debate and stuff about whether or not it's going to continue that way, but for now, it is the world reserve currency. And the Mexican peso has actually been the highest performing currency against the USD in the last year, and it's gotten really strong against the USD in the last 5 years. And there's lots of reasons for this, which us living here, we see all of this happening. So one of it is that Mexico's economy is booming and has been booming in the last few years thanks to a couple of things.
Now, one of the reasons for that is this trend of nearshoring and manufacturing coming back to just outside of the US, here in Mexico. One of the things that happened during the pandemic is that the US realized that it was very difficult to trade with China due to a lot of geopolitical factors, also due to shipping times, and that was further exacerbated when the pandemic basically shut down shipping ports and everything else. And so they've been bringing a lot of manufacturing back to Mexico, nearshoring it to Mexico instead of outsourcing it all the way over across the world to China. And that's one of the factors that has significantly improved the economy here because there's so many jobs being created at those different factories, and there's also things like call centers. There's other businesses that are starting and that have been starting in Mexico to support U.S. companies with their overseas operations, and so that's been creating a lot of jobs. That's been a huge part of the economic growth here.
And one thing that's interesting that actually I forgot to put in our notes, it's related to that, is the fact that Mexico is not only doing business with the United States. Mexico is trying to not only rely on the United States. So Mexico's been very open to, for example, doing business with China. And also the rest of the world, Mexico and the previous administration and this new administration coming in, they've been pretty clear about the fact that, like, yes, we're going to do business with the United States, and also we're going to do business with the rest of the world too.
They're doing what's best for Mexico.
They're doing what's best for Mexico. Yeah. So that's been happening as well. And speaking of doing what's best for Mexico, or what Mexico thinks is best for Mexico, Mexico did something really interesting that most other countries did not do in the last couple of years, which is that the Central Bank of Mexico really started raising rates kind of aggressively and swiftly in comparison to other countries. So whereas it took the US forever, Mexico had already done it. And that basically means that as the central bank raises interest rates, then it pays more to put your money here in Mexico. We were told about an account the other day where you can get up to 14% APR. And we looked it up, and it's true. It's crazy to hear about a bank account that pays out 14%.
Yeah, you'd be lucky
APR.
in the US to get 2 or 3 on average.
So basically what's happened is when you have rates like that, then it's bringing in a lot of foreign currencies, and it's also bringing in a lot of investment, which has led to the super peso phenomenon. Another one, which a lot of Latinos are familiar with this one, is that there's lots of remittances coming from the US. So basically what that means is you have Mexican people here, they have family members in the United States that go to work, they send dollars over here to their family members, and then those family members use the dollars to buy pesos. So basically you have billions of dollars in remittances that are buying up pesos, brings down the value of the dollar and pushes the value of the peso up. And then finally, and you and I would be in this category, ever since COVID and the pandemic, there's a lot more foreigners moving to Mexico and bringing their currencies here. And it's a similar thing to the remittances, where you're using those currencies to buy up more pesos. And it doesn't look like any of this is going to stop, even under the new administration. And again, we're going to have another video on the Mexican elections. It doesn't seem that they're planning on stopping this, at least not in the near future. So they're going to keep the nearshoring, they're going to keep the manufacturing, they're going to keep the trade. Remittances probably aren't going to stop, and foreigners definitely have not stopped moving here.
So all of that is really to say that the peso over the last few years has been getting stronger and stronger, and the drop that you're seeing in terms of the value of the peso to the dollar is really just a temporary phenomenon, or I wouldn't say a glitch in the matrix, but it's based on the speculation, based on the new president and a lot of things that are happening just short term. And a lot of analysts and traders agree that now is going to be a good time to buy the peso, as we have, from the dollar. So if you've got a lot of dollars and you're planning on either traveling to Mexico soon or living in Mexico, you're going to want to stock up on those pesos. Or now might be a good time to come to Mexico and visit, because everything is 10 or 15% cheaper than it was just several weeks ago.
And we don't know how long that's going to last, because I was doing some research for this video. It seems every time there's elections, there's like a blip in the peso. And then now we have American elections coming later this year. There's probably going to be another blip depending on how that goes. So it's kind of a temporary phenomenon, because every other indicator would tell you, okay, this thing is on its way up. It's been pretty strong. The things that are making it strong don't seem like they're going to be stopping anytime soon. So, Mexico's on sale right now, and pesos are on sale right now. So that's basically the gist of what's going on. We hope you guys found this video to be extremely valuable and helpful. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, because it helps us with the algorithm. Make sure to share it with your friends. We're trying to get in front of 1 million entrepreneur expats to connect everybody in this pretty niche topic, so everybody has a place to communicate and talk about these topics. And let us know in the comments if you're an expat in Mexico. Are you planning on buying up pesos? How do you think the peso is going to go long term? And if you're interested in having us streamline and automate your business, because that makes moving overseas a whole lot easier, then the information on how to do that will be below. And don't forget to check out all the free resources that we put together for you guys. We hope you guys like this video, and we'll catch you on the next one.